All right, guys. So welcome back to the Wemaxit YouTube platform. I'm your host, JD. If you're new, please do smash a like button, share, and definitely subscribe. If you're a member of the channel, massive respect to you guys. And how to become a member, please do click the join button, and YouTube will help you along the way. So as you saw by the title, we're going to be discussing Nigeria, Suriname, Canada, Jamaica, and also other stories as it relates to the Copa as well. Obviously, we know that the Euros is going on, but I had so much stories, I had to patch every single thing in it. So I'm going to do my stories that I do have to cover, like the Nigerian ones. Then Sean will come in and we will talk about Suriname, and also Africans will join us on the top of the hour, so we can talk about Canada, so we can finish up the 2 hours. All right, so thanks, chorus, massive respect for being here. Yeah, man, massive respect for that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start straight with the Nigerian one. So we have massive news coming out of Nigeria. I know this is a little bit old for a lot of people. It is Finidi George. Finidi George resigns from the post. So we're gonna try and go through it, read it first for you. We're gonna read it first, then go through the games, look at the squad, and see if it was deserved, because all of these things are very much important. We saw Mayowa in the building. Massive respect, Mayowa. Thanks very much for being here. Let me know what you think on the Nigerian side. All right, so Finidi George, they are giving some information as to why he decided that he's going to resign. Let me just give you the actual results for Nigeria, because he came on. Nigeria had started bad in the World Cup qualifiers, then went into the AFCON, did well in the AFCON because they went to the final. They did end up losing the final. Yes, they did end up losing the final. All right, but results never really changed after that. Playing style, I would say that at least in the South Africa game, that was a good one. So the two results that he had in professional games, it was South Africa 1-1 and he lost 2-1 to Benin. All right, so those were the results. So it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to go through the entire schedule to tell you guys how much games actually leave, for them to recoup themselves, and if they can actually do it. All right, why I resigned as Super Eagle coach. Finidi George reveals video that trends. Finidi George has confirmed this sudden resignation as the head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Veteran Nigerian journalist Colin Oda had a chat with the former Eagles coach and shared the one major reason Finidi George decided to dump the NFF's top job. Finidi was appointed Nigerian's coach in April 2024, but he lasted just 2 matches at the moment. The NFF is in search for a new manager. All right. All right, so let me continue here. It stated that his resignation came a few days after a 3-hour meeting with the NFF and the Minister of Sports, John Eno. They decided to hire a foreign technical advisor to assist Finidi following Nigeria's defeat to Benin Republic hours after the game ended. Okay, the former Nigerian international drew South Africa at home and lost to Benin in the away match. In a report shared by sports journalist Toby Samuel, the NFF criticized the Super Eagles for their poor performance and called for their cooperation. According to the Post, the NFF also appealed to the Nigerians to bear with the team and lamented the attitude of some Super Eagles players. Wow. Okay. All right. So this is what we learned so far. We learned this so far. they wanted to hire a foreign technical advisor to assist Finidi because maybe they believe that he doesn't have enough experience. What say you? Would you jump on that side to state that he doesn't have enough experience? Let me know. I think a lot of Nigerians would say that is definitely true. And but would a advisor help or just remove him completely? I would say based on how it starts. And now you will have a window because I'm going to get that window for you. Let me try and get that window for you so you know exactly the times. All right. So they went through the June 9th to 11th date, World Cup date. And the next set of games will be March 17 to 25th. So they have at least a few more months. Obviously, they're going to have games in between that, and they can even pad it with a few international friendlies to get the next coach acclimatized. I would say you have to move on from him. I think moving on from him would have been the best idea, and just get a proper manager from day one. That it does not require a actual technical director. All right. Yes. Like an overseer, technical overseer. You don't want that. I think that can cause confusion because that can lead people to believe that you're not interested in the actual his work, like you just want him to be there to be the local person that can resonate to some of the other people, but not necessarily the person that should be at the helm doing the job. Juras, big up yourself. Thanks for being here. Massive, massive respect. All right. Yeah, man. So that's what I think I took from this conversation. All right. I would have moved on from him, but they need to clear up a lot of things. Yeah, I can understand where he's coming from because I wouldn't want anyone. I could first, you can't sign me on a plan, give me an overall um agreement, and then after 2 games, you want to say that you're going to add a supervisor over me. That tells you that you don't believe that I can truly do it. But obviously, just what I've said, you believe that I might can galvanize the troops, but not good enough to get the full job done. So you need someone to assist me right there. So I think he did the right thing because it wouldn't work out just the same. Because maybe the next guy comes in and realize that maybe it is not running as smooth and want to move on from that as well. And that is an additional problem right there. All right. He was great as a player, but not as a coach. The fact that a player had a successful career playing doesn't translate to a successful coaching career. He deserves to go. All right. And I would actually agree with that to say that it doesn't naturally always turn out to be a super career. So with that said, it might be the end of him at um, it might be the end of him there. But they need to they need to act better, or else they are not going to qualify for the next World Cup, and that would be a big disaster, people. That would be a big disaster if Nigeria doesn't qualify for the next World Cup, and it's going to look like that if they don't get any results in the next 2-3 games. If they can't pull that off, it's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for disaster, guys. Remember to smash the like button as you come in, share and subscribe, because what that does, it actually helps the visibility of the actual program. All right, it helps the visibility of the program so people can know that we are actually live. Okay. Yes, and I have to finish this one. I finish all of my stuff them that I had on my list as it relates to Nigeria. And then whosoever rewatching it, please give me your take as it relates to Nigeria and what you think will happen with them. All right, because I think this is going to put them in a very, very tough spot. Very, very tough spot. All right. Then we have Hank Hill in the building. Massive respect, Hank. How you doing, man? Saying Bowen in the building. Massive respect. Determined. Said they can't even get Jesus. it still won't. No, they can even get Jesus. It still won't help. Africa and the Caribbean need to understand the business of football. Everything starts with the federation. Okay. Then we have Kevin Jones. Massive respect. Thanks for being here. How are you doing? Yes. And then we have our brother David 247 says greetings. How are you doing? The Finidi George situation. Let me know. That's what I'm on now. And I am asking how it's looking for you as it relates to Nigeria Super Eagles. They have a lot of games left, because I think a lot of people kind of overreact to the amount of games left. All right, because they have just gone through match day 4 window. All right, so you still have match day 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you have 6 more windows left. So if they can go on to get all 6 wins, which they have the team capable of doing so. All right, they have the team capable of doing so. Obviously, I don't think they are going to get 6 wins, but I think 3 wins, 3 draws puts them in at least second spot. And it wouldn't be good enough, but it would have been a good enough amount of points acquired to get one of the sure second spots. So that's what I would have said, though. So let me know if you think that they can turn it around. Let me know if you think that they can turn it around. The roster that they do have in is incredible. Let me pull this up so you can see what I'm looking at. Sorry about that. I'm using a different system because I wanted everyone to have the opportunity to come on and share their take as it relates to their team. All right. So what I'm gonna do in this segment is just I'm gonna do Jamaica and also Nigeria. Those are the 2 teams I'm going to cover. So I'm gonna do Jamaica's expectation from the actual competition, because obviously you know that you have Copa America and you also have Euros. I've taken the time out to start my stream early, so I will miss one of the Euro games, which is in, France versus Netherlands. I left it at 0-0. All right, so I'm hoping that it actually gets better at some point. All right. It is not just about the coaching job. The administration of football is a big part of the problem. Respect, man. Yes, but I'm asking because we have to look at the immediate future plans to try and see if they can get everything sorted out. So do you think that they have the capability to get everything sorted out so we can at least get some stable situation going into the next set of fixtures? Or you think that it's going to continue in the next set of fixtures? And with that said, would it be good enough to take them out of the group, or you think it's the same thing will happen to Nigeria again and they don't make it with such a star-studded squad? Let me know. And this is the next example to prove that football doesn't just only play on paper, all right? Because you can have some of the best players, but yet still fulfill the overall mission, because the players on the paper only give you that, okay, yes, these are the players I have at my disposal, but you have to have a coach to put all of those things in action. Without that, I think it's a recipe for disaster. All right, so I think it's going to take a while. I'm hoping that they do get all the games in between. All right, so they don't have anything scheduled until the 17, 2025. So I think that they're going to have games in between that. So obviously that's going to pop up in between. So that's when you're going to truly know if they can truly qualify. But for now, you're just holding some standoff. But at this point, it's definitely not looking good. I'm going to take the point of it's not looking good for me. All right. Yes, but they definitely have the talent. Not the strongest in midfield, but I still thought that they have enough midfielders to get the job done as well. All right. Yes. Best as documentary. Massive respect. Thanks for being here. How you doing, man? Hope all is well. Sean Bowen. All right. Sean Bowen in the building. All right. So, as you know, I'm not gonna spend too long on all of the topics then. All right, so I'm going to just jump on the Jamaica side. All right, I'm going to jump on its Jamaica side. I had left the Jamaica conversation early on. I had left the Jamaica conversation early on to chop up. Yes, and I'm going to continue on it. All right. All right, 1 second. Let me add these things in. So, what are the expectations for you guys as it relates to the Reggae Boys? Just want to clear up these so when the guys them come in, they can just talk on um their actual subjects. What are your expectations as it relates to the Reggae Boys? Obviously, as I've said at the top of the hour, you will have Africans coming here. So your honest expectations, all right? Your honest expectations. If you're rewatching this video, let me know your thoughts on it. Your honest expectations as it relates to the Jamaica Reggae Boys. I from the start of the day, I've been talking about squad. So let me pull up Jamaica Reggae Boys squad so you can understand what type of team they have and what competition they're actually playing. All right, because all of those things are going to factor in my final decision. All right, I've made my final decision, but sometimes it's hard to explain certain things. So that's what I'm going to go in now, which is the explanation of why I've chose certain things. One second, let me sort this out right here. All right. All right. Yeah. All right, so that should be good now. All right. I had some little thing typo error coming up on the screen right there. All right, so best as massive respect. Nigeria already dropped in the latest ranking. Yes, obviously they lost to a team that is beneath them. So yes, that will be the case. JD, have you looked at the latest FIFA ranking? We are going to do so, but let me just explain to people what the Jamaica team looks like and also bounce back to the overall the overall grouping and the overall tournament that you're playing in. So at least we can start the conversation at the right place. Because I do think that we start a lot of conversations without no information, no education towards anything. We're just talking on matters, and then that's where I think most of the problems kind of fall, because it's like no one knows about the teams and they're just saying things of just pure emotion. And obviously, once it's their emotion, it doesn't really go anywhere solid, you know. Hope one day, JD, you can have a show about the business of football to educate the masses. Well, that will happen someday in the future, when it's required. To be honest, or when we have the overall pool of people really want that, because you can't be talking for 1 hour on something that no man really bouncing back with you on it, you know. And as sometimes it's hard enough to just talk about football only, and people really pay it attention, to be honest, at least in certain categories, to be honest. Jamaica cannot dominate games. These are better teams than Concacaf. Jamaica last in the group, and Ecuador first, Venezuela second. All right, so these are the team. These are the players that we went in with. We had Andre Blake. Andre Blake is there, but he's injured. And I saw more than one team doing this. I thought that we saw Lewandowski actually there for Poland, and he's not playing because I think he's injured. All right, Connor Boyce Clark, a new player. Coming in, his market value went up to 300K. That is very nice. 21-year-old. Jamal Waite, that's the second string goalkeeper. Shaquan Davis, market value went up to 100,000. So I guess people really like what they see from him. Ethan Pinnock stays at 12 million after 31 years old. Incredible for that price as a centre back. Then you have Latibadir, 3 million, 24-year-old. So that's one of the younger guys them coming in. Deshaun Bernard, 1.5 million. I expected him to rise a little bit higher. I think as the season starts, he's going to actually rise a little bit higher. Wes Harden, 1.2, 27-year-old. Damian Lowe, 600k, 31-year-old. Michael Hector, 31 as well, 350 k. John Bell, one of the new ones coming in, 300 k, 26 years old. Richard King, 150k. Woo! Price is going up on the local Jamaican JPA players. Wow, nice. Amari Bell, 2.5. Amari Bell is also injured coming into the tournament. Don't know if he's going to feature. It all comes down to what Jamaica actually does. Greg Lee, 300k. Said his market value is going up, 29 years old. Dexter Lembikisa, 3 million, 20 years old. So he's one of the sensations for Jamaica. Kevin Lambert, 250k, 27 years old. Karai Anderson, 350k. Karai Anderson jumps to. That is very, very nice to see that a 19-year-old. So he's the next sensation that Jamaica has on their hands. KC Palmer, 1.2 million, 27-year-old. Damar Gray down to 8 million, 27 years old. That is solely because he's playing in Saudi. All right. Ronaldo Cephas, 1.3 million. He's down in market value. Leon Bailey, you can scratch out this name. He's actually all about the party in life at this point. So he's not on the list, but I guess they had him on the paper and they have not removed him as yet. D. Cover Reed, 5 million. Drops, 31-year-old. So he's getting a little bit older. And Kayeen Dixon get a bump to 100,000. That is surprising. Alex Marshall, 100k. Are they just putting some 100k on these JPL players or something? I don't know. Shamar Nicholson on the down of 5 million, even though he has good form for the Jamaican team, but not necessarily best form for Shalarai at this point. Mikel Antonio down to 4 million. So I would say just on market value, it is a decent looking team. All right. But at the same time, we are the lowest ranked team, and we have won 2 games. We have won 2 games. So let me tell you FIFA ranking. So FIFA ranking, let me tell you how that looks now, because we have won 2 games. You know, we were not impressive in those games at all. We were not impressive in those games at all. All right. But at the same time, we won them. So maybe we will get a rise in our 2 wins that we garnered. Because let me tell you. So June 20th. So this was the latest update. So let me see how much CONCACAF teams actually rise. All right. England went down 1 spot, fully deserved. I think they should have dropped down even more. Belgium will drop as well. Spain stay the same place, got a +2 boost. Italy, not down 1 place. Okay, Croatia up. All right, wow. And then Croatia lost. Maybe they're going to add the tournament itself after. Mexico down 1 place, lost 8 points right there. Germany got a +2 boost. Senegal down 1 place, they lost 1.39. All right. Ukraine down as well, lost a little bit of placements there. And then now we're going into the territory. Peru is up 1 spot. All right. Serbia is up. Russia up. Czechia. Qatar is down. Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire up. Nigeria down 8 places. Lost 21 points. So Nigerians are one of the biggest losers. Sorry. Nigerians are one of the biggest losers in this actual window. Let me maximize it here so you guys can see it a little bit better. Yes, so Nigerians are one of the biggest losers in this one because they have lost 20 plus points or 21 points. So they dropped 8 places. So that means Nigeria started at the 30th place before, and they are down to 38, which is not the best look. All right, Chile up 2 places. All right. So most of the South American teams doing well. Panama up 2 places to 43rd. All right. Canada up 1 place up to 48, and Jamaica up 2 place because they got 7.49. All right, so I assume that it is over the amount of the 2 games them that we played. That's the point that you get 7 points add. All right, so 3.5 points, close to 4 for each one of the games them. Yes. All right, so that is, I think that's the best you could have gotten out of it. It couldn't go any other way. Or else it would have been terrible. All right. All right. To answer your question, I think this team has lost it. It took only a couple of months for Super Eagles to become a shadow of them, and that almost won the AFCON. Yes, I thought that they learned something in there to patch things up because they went to a three at the back system to help out the situation. But they have not. They never went on to fix the overall situation. All right. All right. Oh my God. All right. Only one decent striker, Boza. Okay. You're just ranting for no reason. I can't understand why USA is up so high. Oh, you mean why they are up so high? Oh, we had passed USA, right? USA in 11 position because they bat us all times. So that's the reason why they're in that position, and they fully deserve to be there because they have battered all of us. Um, we have to be honest to ourselves. If we are gonna say that we should, okay, so you're saying that they shouldn't be here. This is how it goes. You play teams, and how dominant you are, that's what determines where you're going to truly rank. All right. So, for instance, they don't play so much matches outside CONCACAF if it's not big tournaments. And okay, occasional situation, they will have one friendly or such. Sometimes, most of the times, it doesn't go well for them. But the other teams, they battered the teams in CONCACAF, so that in itself always helped them. I think they have dropped some points because they lost the Trinidad and such, so they have dropped some points over that time. But definitely, they deserve to be there. They're the best CONCACAF team at this point. So Jamaica up to 53rd. All right, gain 7 points, plus 7 points. Costa Rica gain plus 8 points. Costa Rica is definitely looking good. To me, I am slightly more. I'm not slightly more. They were the best performing team in the last window of the World Cup qualifiers. All right, let me see which other Jamaican team. Paraguay down 2 place, so that is good. Paraguay down 2 place, that's good. Seems like a draw versus Brazil. Save their ranking. Okay, but I think for the friendlies, then maybe they don't take away so much points, and that is the biggest problem right there. Let me see. DR Congo went up 2. Ghana went up 4. Ghana got 22 points. Wow, Africans should be skinning his teeth now. Ghana, Cape Verde dropped a few more points. Burkina Faso 67 dropped a few more points. Jordan got 23 points. So Jordan is a big winner in this round. Honduras got 11 points in this round. Thought that they were very good. They were very good. So Honduras climbing back the chart. They're in 78th position now. Their football definitely better than a lot of teams. Way higher than them. So that doesn't really tell their true position. 80 got 11 points in this window. 80 is down to 86 now. They're up 4 place as well. And Curacao gaining back some of their actual momentum. They got 10 points as well, put them in 87th position. So most of these teams that we know they are clearly better than the position that they were in, they are showcasing that at this point. All right. Our federation is very poor. Don't expect much from this coach, even though he has a talented team. I expect this team to fight and find ways to win. This is what we've been doing under this coach. I do agree with that. I think that is very clear. Equatorial Guinea down 10 placements. Lost 47 points. They should be the biggest losers. Benin is one of the biggest winners with 28 points because they defeated Nigeria. All right. But definitely Equatorial Guinea is one of the biggest losers. Trinidad lost points. Trinidad lost points, 1.21 right there for Trinidad. They lost. Mozambique got 20 plus odd points. So it's a lot of big points throwing out for some of these teams. Korea DPR got 23. All right. All right. So now we're going down to the lower segment. So I want to see how much like Suriname pick up. I think Suriname should pick up maybe the same 8 because the teams that they played, even though they are solid teams, they are down there in the ranking. So they are not going to pick up. So Suriname picked up 15 points. So Suriname jumped 3 places. 3 places. Suriname would need to beat. If they can beat Puerto Rico now, Puerto Rico and El Salvador, if they can beat El Salvador, let me see now, El Salvador, so this puts them on 15, 1087. So if they beat El Salvador, that can be 20, 30 points, 24 points, I think, for one game, if they can beat El Salvador. That 24 points can take them upwards, that can jump them almost around here. So Suriname can jump back into they can shoot after that window of Puerto Rico. They can jump, go if they can win both of those games for the next window, even before that, because they're going to be in the Nations League. If they can do good in the Nations League, Suriname can jump with the squad that they have. They can jump really far, really far. Like they can jump in the 120s if they can do well in the Nations League. If they do well in the Nations League and at the back end of their World Cup qualifiers, they're gonna jump in the 120s. So they can truly become the team that we know that they have, which is actually the quality on the field. So that is good to see that they have jumped, gotten a lot of points. I think it's years now they have not really garnered so much points, 15 plus points in one window. Liberia got 37 points. Damn, it's a lot of small teams turning over big teams. See, Puerto Rico got 13 points as well, and they're at 156. So this is going to be a good win if they can get that. And El Salvador is supposed to be way higher. So have I passed El Salvador? Where's El Salvador? El Salvador should be in the 90s at least. Let me see El Salvador in the 90s. And then we can, all right, El Salvador is at 80 position. So if Suriname beat them, it can be 24 points. So that means they have a good set. And let me see their Nations League ranking. Nations League thingy. Concacaf. Nations League 2024. All right, so let me see the window. All right, 2024, 2025. All right, let me see what Suriname has to play. All right, so Suriname, Guatemala, Martinique, Guadeloupe, Guyana in the same group. And I think that they have Costa Rica, I think. Yeah, I think they have Costa Rica. They have Costa Rica. They have Guyana. All right, Guyana. And they have Guadeloupe. So they have Costa Rica, Guyana, and Guadeloupe. If they can tear through this and even get a draw with Costa Rica or win, that would be something top for them. Very much top for them. So it's looking bright for Suriname at this point. Let me move on to the other teams that we have right here. Let me see. Equatorial lost points for ineligible player used in AFCON. Yes. All right, Lamar in the building. Big up yourself. Thanks for being here. Massive respect. So you see, guys, the teams are rapidly rising from CONCACAF. I love that. I love to see that. At least the top 15 teams, once they're not facing each other, they are beating up all of the other teams. So we can truly see all of them bulge up together. So one win can switch positions. You get me? Because I truly believe that some of the teams that are actually high up the table are actually better than some of the teams them lower down the table, to be honest. Yes, based on what I'm seeing. I actually think so. So let me move on to Jamaica now. Jamaica. We have Jamaica on the books. So the expectations. let me start right there. The expectations. I'm gonna bring up Jamaica. Let me get Jamaica up here so you guys know what's up. What's the expectations you guys have for Jamaica? That's what I'm gonna talk on now. The expectations for Jamaica. What say you guys? I really want to know that before we go anywhere. What is the expectation you have for Jamaica? So if Jamaica is ranked 23rd here, let me check. Are they the lowest ranked team in the thingy? No, Copa America. If they are that they are 53rd now, I think it shouldn't be. Let me see. If they're 53rd, they should. I think they might are 53rd. No, Paraguay was 53rd. Paraguay dropped place, so that means Jamaica surpassed Paraguay. So Jamaica is the second to last worst ranked team. Paraguay should be the worst ranked team now because Jamaica jumped up 2 spots. So Jamaica is no longer the worst team. They are the second lowest team in coming in. So let me give you the group that Jamaica in. All right, this is good. So I can the group that Jamaica in. And we are going to kick off tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow, we're going to kick off Mexico, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Jamaica. All right. The Mexico team, they have played a lot of games. To be honest, a lot of the games, I don't think they play them to win them, but maybe to improve their position that they were in before, because they have changed their manager and they wanted to see player style to fit the Mexican style, and maybe pick some of the more Mexican the players them that they believe fit the style rather than just players playing big leagues. You understand me? So a lot of their results never really went their way. They played Brazil. They lost 3-2. I thought it was a competitive game. They showcased what they're trying to do there. The Uruguay team was completely a different game, different team completely. Like nobody on it was actually featured in the next one. Let me show you right here, just to show you. So they are trying to dig deep in their system, and Cesar Erta, I use Cesar Erta, is more of a player that comes on. Alvarado could come on. Hold on, no, this couldn't be the 4-0 one. 1 second, let me get the 4-0 one because okay, Alvarez, but yeah, Alvarez was there. So Alvarez is a starter. Belton, no, he doesn't get the start over my boy, deeper line. No, Pineda is a starter. Yeah, so 1, 2. Artega at the left back is a starter from time to time. So you could say three starters on the field. Three starters. Everyone else was just players rotating and such. All right, so you had Antuna, Roma, Vega, that came on. They are definite starters. Rodriguez can be classed as a starter as well. Jimenez can be classed as a starter. They came in throughout the game itself and they couldn't help the team. So, but it's a high caliber team they're playing, and they lost that game 4-0. All right, but I wouldn't I will take this one more serious because I think this is your main team from the start to the finish. All right, they won against Bolivia 1-0. And you can look at the squad, the difference of the squad right here. The difference of the squad right here. Chavez. All right, so not a completely weaker team as well. Yes, this is a completely different team as well. So they have been doing this over and over. And the Colombia, they lost to Colombia 3-2. Not a bad result when you saw what Colombia did to United States. So I said all of that to say that they are working on their plan. So they're going to be at their best position possible, I think, coming in for the next tournament. All right. Venezuela ranked 54th. Okay. All right. So, all right. Then I never checked Venezuela. Jamaica should get 1 point and score 1 goal. And that is your expectation. All right. Ellery Crosses, oh, you gave me that already. This show that the world don't rate Jamaica as a football. No, I don't think so. I don't think that would be the case. I don't think that would be the case. All right, I don't think that would be the case. I think it's just what's up. It's just what's up at this point. All right, I don't think it's oh the world don't rate Jamaica. You have to play for your position. You're in the region. You have to beat all the teams in order to gain those positions. United States, Mexico did that for years. You can't just get the players. Suriname got players. Suriname process started around 4 years now. 4 years going. 4 years solid going when they're actually injecting quality players coming from abroad. 4 years. Over that 4 years, they are fluctuate because when they jump up to League A, they meet Jamaica, they meet Mexico, they lost or draw the games. So you have to make that extra step as well with your team in order to gain points. So Jamaica ranked 50th, I think that is exactly where they should be. I don't think they're performing better than that. You understand me? They have to go and beat the Mexicos now and beat the United States in order to make that jump. The difference with Panama win a game against the United States twice out of the last 3 times. So that tells you that Panama making those jumps. So that's why Panama can gain those points. So what we do know, you can't lie. The numbers don't lie. If you ain't beating the teams, then you ain't going anywhere. All right. JD, did Paraguay win anything before? We never have Paraguay in our group. We're just trying to work with the teams that we have in the group, just to show you what's up. So Venezuela now. Venezuela is one of the teams that we are looking at to say that maybe this is a team that we could have beaten. That's what I was saying in my head, But when I went back and really checked these teams, I'm saying, okay, all of these teams will give us problem, because all of these teams are better than majority of the teams in Concacaf, because I was just saying maybe the men's team in Venezuela not kick on, because I know that youth teams are very good, but the men's team not kicking on. That's what I thought, but they're still holding they're holding their own, people. All right, they drew 0-0 with Guatemala just the other day, which is a good game. You can get the numbers from that as well, so you can look at it different. So you can look. They never gave me or they don't give me the details as like the position and stuff, because I would love to see that one. All right, so this is going to be sure a little bit different. They lost to Italy 2-1. All right. They lost to Colombia 1-0. Both of these teams, you know the type of quality they are. Let me show you the players that they were using in this game for Italy. All right, look at Telly. All right, so you can see Chiesa. So they are using majority of their best players. Barello, Juninho, Jorginho coming on. As you see, Zaniola, majority of their best players were actually in that setup. So it's a good Italian team they face, but maybe not the one from the start. All right, so let me pull up the Colombia team now to see if it's close to what United States had. All right, and it's our own goal, as you saw there. All right, let me see. Colombia. All right. Not the strongest. Not the strongest at the start. Okay. Okay, not the strongest Colombia team. All right, that means Colombia is just really good. All right, and as you saw here, they drew 1-1 with Peru. Ecuador that we think is a favorite, they drew with them as well. And obviously, it's going to be the best Ecuador team. You understand me? Yeah. They're going to put everyone in it. Caicedo, Pacho, Torres, Encape in it. Rodriguez, Sarnoza, Perez in it. So that's one of their best team. You can have added players coming on, but it's still one of their best team. All right. And they have a 3-0 win over Chile. Obviously, a red card involved in that one. 1-1 with Brazil. and they defeated Paraguay 1-0. So me, I know I can look at it. I can look at it and say maybe I judged them a little bit wrong at the first half. I should have dug a little bit deeper. This group is going to be very much tougher than what we first thought, people. Very much tougher than what we first thought. Patrick Cameron says 1-1 with Mexico. Jamaica is somehow ranked 10th in the tournament. Power ranking, whatever it is. Okay, Jamaica is ranked 10th in the tournament. And you have... okay, let me put up this. Ranked 10th in the tournament. Man, find something to tell me some stories. How much group we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 groups of 4. So we have 16. We have 16 teams. And he said we ranked 10th. So who are we better than? Who are we truly better than here? Bolivia. I think we should be above Bolivia. Venezuela, Ecuador, Mexico. I think all of them over Jamaica. In actual form and those stuff based on how they're performing. United States, Uruguay, Panama, all of them above Jamaica. So Bolivia would be below Jamaica. Brazil, Colombia, Paraguay. I need to see more of Paraguay team. I can't just jump to say that. All right, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Paraguay. I need to see more of it. Costa Rica. I think Jamaica and Costa Rica might be on the same level, but definitely they outperformed us just a while ago. I'm not going to just jump to put Jamaica above Costa Rica until we hold them and beat them. But at this point, the way they're playing football, I think they're playing better than Jamaica as well. But I think Jamaica have maybe better players at this point. Yes, so I do think Jamaica would have the advantage if we can put the better players and good system and everything in play. But I thought that because they have a good system and they have good players as well, maybe not as good as Jamaica, it might catch up to Jamaica because I don't rate Jamaica's system highly. I'm very sorry, people. All right, so that will make it a battle game until I can see who come out on top, and then I can give who wins. So I would say that Jamaica might be better than Bolivia and Paraguay at best. I don't think they're better than Costa Rica. We have to see that first. See we beat them. All right, which is a long time. We have not even. I think we got a draw from them the last time in the World Cup qualifiers. That's about it. Yeah. Every other time they find a way to beat us. So we have to get something from them before we can decide that. So I would say out of the 16 teams, yeah, around 14th or so, 14th to 13 in between that, because you'd have been tied with Costa Rica for fight for that spot. That's what I think still, but I don't know where you make up that metric to let me talk about it. Yes. Think it will be a good game tomorrow. Mexico, heavy favorites. And if I should bet, I go with them. But the girls get out the group, anything possible. All right, let me see. Sorry, the latest power ranking has us 13th out of 16. Okay. I don't know where you're getting these things from. It's just because I'm just talking about the actual teams, them, and you really side. You're just making up stories. JD, I'm going to Copa America and try to progress each time we go. Qualifying for all regions, finals should be the standard. No, or qualifying for all regional finals. So the Copa in general would have classed as a regional finals. Okay, I thought that they meant going to the finals, because I would have said that is too much of a high task, and I would want to put them up there. But I would agree with you. I think they have already done enough for me. That's why I said my expectations are not the greatest. I just think that they should use this, fight hard in all games, and then let me see where they are, because I don't know where they truly are, because I just saw them play Dominica and they weren't better than Dominican Republic. Obviously, it was a weaker team, but majority of those players are always around our first team. All right, so it's hard for me to be here and say that it wasn't a good team that played Dominica. I would be lying to you. You understand me? So I don't know where they truly are. You know, I understand the confidence that you guys have, because you're gonna have that confidence, but I can't tell you that. You know, because this is the starting team. So I have to pick this one because they started Kaim Dixon the last time, so I have to take that out of it. So wait is one of our second goals string goalkeepers. Michael Hector, Deshaun Bernard, Greg Lee, Tavan Gray. Maybe only Tavan Gray would have been on the bench. All right, and me, but majority the next three here are starters. All right, close to starter. Damian Lowe always on the field. Even if he doesn't deserve to be there, he's on the field. All right, so he's one of the starters. So four players so far out of six. Daniel Johnson, Bobby Reed. Bobby Reed always on the field. So that's five out of six. Shaman Nichols and Michael Antonio. Seven out of the 11 there. But Cephas and Daniel Johnson could have started at any time. You understand me? So 7 out of the 11 are full starters. And we never look like we're better than Dominican Republic. So it's hard to gauge. And that's what I've based my conversations on. I'm not going to say things for likes and clicks. You know, that don't work. It don't make sense for me. I think Jamaica will give a good account of themselves. I would love that. I would not like to see see what I don't want them to continue off what we just saw. All right, with just adding Ethan Pinnock and Damari Gray on the field. I want to see some improvements, like literally the game improves. Period. I need to see that, or else I think it's not going to end good, as what the coach said the last time. If we go there with the same behavior, it's going to be the same result. I think Mexico is hungry and they're trying their best to improve, to put themselves back on that pedestal, and they have to make it count at this point. All right, and Jamaica people always see Jamaica as a good piece to operate on. Like they want to showcase their talent and see where they gauge themselves with Jamaica. So I think Mexico come in with the same hunger as what Jamaica come in with as well. You know, so it's going to be a good beefy game. Maybe two different styles. Yes. Hello, good day, Mr. Africans. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm here, man, and we're just chopping up some expectations for Jamaica. I want to
Okay.
just go straight into your team, you know, because I've done my expectations.
hmm
Um, from outside, what expectations you think Jamaicans should have?
It's a good question because I don't know the level of this Mexican side, right? We've seen enough from this, and it's hard to really evaluate the Jamaican side from World Cup qualifiers, say, to what we'll see here. They're two different squads. But what we can say is Mexico hasn't been as consistent. They've seemed vulnerable, but they seem like that animal that's wounded, and every time that you think, oh, Panama's going to get them. Mexico is able to get them 3-0. They absorb enough of that, and it's 3-0, and you're like, why do you keep letting them get away with this? So Jamaica, to me, the question is, can they bury more than one chance? One goal won't do it. If they have the same game they had against the US at Nations League, that won't do it.
If they come up, I can tell you, if we play anything like United States, remember the reason why United States never created more chances was because they brought on my boy, what's his name again, the attacking midfielder.
Mhm.
Later in the game, he never started.
Yeah.
Because that would have been a complete different game. I think Mexico is built for those low blocks. I think if we play like that, we have no chance beating Mexico. Like we have zero chance beating
Mhm.
Mexico. You cannot play like that. Just apply the same logic as make the United States and win that game. I'm very sorry. I was talking to one of my friends and I said, nah, I don't think that will work. I think you're going to get embarrassed because Mexico is that team. They know how to play through those gaps and cause
Mhm.
us as a problem. You're not, maybe you score two own goals. You're not going to score one when the pressure arises. You're going to score
Yeah.
two. Yes. So, yeah. So I think you have to come out and play them. If you're if you're considered as a big team, you have to go out there and get the job done. You have to go out there and at least face them to certain places and don't sit back on your goal line. I can't I'm not gonna be happy watching that at all, you know?
No, and that's true. And I think that's the thing where we've said this. I know I've said this about this Jamaican side for the last 3 years. I haven't seen them really take over a game. And against Mexico, I think the fear for me would be this is the type of game where Mexico is shaky enough where they might say, have the ball. You try to create something, and we'll be the defending countered side.
You
I
think
have yet.
you think they will try and do that in Jamaica?
That was
Because
the Panama
remember they
game.
okay.
That was the Panama game. And if I am Mexico, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, are they capable of actually breaking us down? Because if they want to, because I think Jamaica's more dangerous on the counter than they are in possession, from what I've seen personally. So if that's the case, I think Mexico, worst case scenario, Mexico can just say, okay,
So
you guys
don't
have the
dominate the
ball.
ball, give them the ball every time and try hunt them down to take the ball back from them, pretty much. In these dangerous areas.
I think that
Because
would be the ideal based off how they've looked, because
that's what we
ultimately,
just saw with Dominica.
yeah, there is a limit for how they're going to play. Now, again, this wasn't the full team that we saw against Dominica, but you still see the same type of issues that happen. They got the one goal against the US, and then it just felt as if they said, okay, hold on for life and pray. Now, I'm not sure. I know they had a sermonette before Copa started, but at the end of the day, I think they need, if Jamaica's going to beat Mexico, they can't just score one and then defend. They need at least two. I'd say they need three. Can they get three against
I
this
think
Mexican
three
side?
goals. I think 2 goals ain't doing it. 3 goals doing it
Mm,
because I don't see Jamaica keeping a clean sheet against
yeah.
Mexico at all. I'm very sorry. It's not because our midfield defenders are not good. I think we have some of the best mid defenders in the entire competition. No, not
Mm,
this competition, but in Concacaf, I meant.
okay.
But the problem is, if your defenders keep on, because our defenders have always been good, you know. If people actually watches, you know, our defenders have always been good. I'm talking about since the World Cup qualifiers, you know, they have always been, because I saw Ethan Pino came in and played almost a flawless game in the Panama game, and we still got 3-0.
Mm,
Because if your midfield can't soak up water, the game that I looked at, I don't know if you remember this game. I think I can find it. Jamaica versus Mexico. It was 2-2. Up
yeah.
to this day, I don't know how in the world Jamaica get that finish that game 2-2. Even at 2 goals, it still does never look like we coming off that field. Getting no draw. You understand me? But it ended 2-2, and I only have to say thank the Lord, because the midfield was non-existent. See, this is the
Yeah.
one I'm gonna put up on the
That's
screen.
the Bobby Reed. That's the Bobby Reed volley, and
Yes,
then
yes, yeah. Oh my God.
the Pinnock causing the own goal game. Yeah, that game, and that to me is like, if I want to
See,
say what my
look at
issue
this.
with, yeah,
25 shots to 6, 3 big chances,
mm,
and I can tell you, I think it was more big chances in this than what they said, because we even got an extra big chance. So we got 2 big chances out of our 6 shots, and they had
yeah,
25 shots. And I'm talking about shots that you had to do something and
mhm,
keep us in the game. So and it was solely based off our midfield. And this was the game that I realized that these two guys can't play this system, you know. And
mm,
what the coach is doing, that was the bravest style I've ever seen, because none of these guys are actual solid deep line midfielder. They're two attacking midfielders.
yeah. And I think that's the thing. And I think even if you look at that game, that to me is the ultimate. You led this game 2-1, and it felt like every time they got a goal, Mexico said, "Okay, let's go get it back," and it felt like within like 10 minutes they got the goal back, and that's where it's the like, and we can
The
easily
problem.
transition this into like Argentina and Canada. The second Argentina got their goal, you saw them saying, "We need two, we need three, we're going to get that." You saw the energy pickup. I'm waiting for that side of Jamaica where they're able to get the ball, they get a goal, and then they're not satisfied with just one. They're able to bury a team and end a game, right? That's the thing that we
Facts,
haven't
facts.
seen, right? Jamaica will get one, they won't be able to get two, and then eventually maybe they'll get their two or their three, and then they always have that 10-minute let off, There's that 10 minutes where it's just okay, they give them the ball, and the next thing you know, it's post goal, it's a game.
And
Like
that is solely down to what the players them will have on the field. Period. That
mhm,
is solely down to that. So I would agree. We have to move on. We have to improve. We have to improve on that. That is the
yeah,
level, the next level that Jamaica needs to reach in order for them
mhm,
to be classed even into the realm of getting to a big team. We have to can keep position and through the transitions. Move the transitions through the thirds them. Or else we're
yeah,
gonna always have problem. This big kicking up back and then you eat and Pinnock again after be screwing up and say, but I just freezed it 3 seconds ago. So is this possible? 5 times in
mhm,
15 seconds. You know, these
yeah,
are impossible moments. Bless up everyone that came in. Please do it, like button, share, and subscribe. This is how we do it over here. We chop up things from all sides. All right. All right. Colin Quest out there talking about Canada. So we're talking about Canada now. I thought that Mr. Sean would have been here already, but he's
yeah,
not here as yet. So that was a surprise. All right. So if he
mhm,
can't come, he can't come. And I
yeah,
will still touch on the Suriname topic as well. And because I did touch on him as well. So Africans,
yeah.
Canada, what you saw from them? Because we left off. We were excited to see what we saw, I'm
It's
impressed with them.
mhm.
But before you go
So
anywhere, Africans, before you answer anything, is there only 200 Canadian fans in the stadium? Because the Jamaicans then make up a story. The head leader was Marlon Nelson. Because I've not gotten the full report as it. Only 200 Canadian was there in the stadium. And I said
um
that is absolute bollocks. Not true. All right.
it was 1,500 in a stadium that can fit 70,000, and it's okay if you saw that red. Those were just our tears every time we saw Messi running free. But it was tears of just sadness. But no, yeah, we had so few. But I mean, this is what you're gonna get. Like teams travel well in these regions, and Canada isn't. They travel well, but they aren't as well traveled as the rest of the region, and that's just the reality, right? For
No,
an event like this, that's
but
it. Yeah,
for Africans, that's what I said. I said between 1,500 and 3,000. It's not 200. All right.
Marlon, Marlon's just going. Yes, yes, I see that. I see that. Oh, but no,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna get the correct result because I wanted to say even 2,000, so I
Mm.
can come back, and say
It
it
was. It
was.
definitely wasn't 2000. I know there was issues with getting tickets for some of the Canadians leading up to the game. Like they had access to that amount, so I know that the number that was floated around was that there was 1,500 allocated for Canadians, and then there was like 40,000 for Argentinians,
What?
and then the rest Argentinian fans got the rest anyway. So we were just out there. We are
So
listen.
how much allocated for Canada?
The number I saw floating around was 1,500.
What kind
1,500
of
tickets.
disrespect is so this is how big Argentina is. So you should lose the match. They are you should just turn up and just get beaten, pretty much. Because it's a 70,000 seater, and you need 1,500 people. Not even real matches, Africans. The away stands get 1,500 people. What kind of
Listen.
world? What kind of disrespect is this? This is how
Well,
they
if
don't
I'm
win Concacaf.
if I was the one selling, I'd say they'll pay for Messi. So just give more for Argentina. Give them more. Just
But
tell him
Africans, you
all of Messi's
cannot
family to
have
be there.
40,000 to 15,000. That
I
just doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up, but I saw the spattering of red shirts in a sea of blue and white, and I think we heard some Canadian fans during the match every once in a while. So I'm not I'm happy whether it was 1,500, whether it was 15, whatever the number was, they represented and they held themselves well. So I have no issue with the number. They made their presence felt, and I'm happy with it.
Okay, okay, all right. Let me chop up the game now. Yeah, because Canada, I thought that they did it well, but now I know that it was 95,000. Um,
And
Argentinians in the stadium, and the stadium holds 70,000 for the listeners, but they are just there because anywhere on earth football is Argentinian. acts like they own football, so they should get all the tickets and just fill the stadium. So now I'm gonna give the Canadian more respect because that is disrespectful. The last time I checked, Canada is actually America. You are pretty much America, and you're getting 1,500 tickets for our next country. Oh my God, this is disrespectful. All right, good God. I can't believe it. This is
uh,
Concacaf is just Concacaf is a puppy show. Confetti, you know. This is
I
disrespectful. This is, oh my.
look, man. Let's forget about the stands. Let's talk about the pitch.
Yeah,
Okay,
let me
there's
talk
much
about
to
the game.
talk about.
Let's
Yes.
talk about the game. So Canada lost the 2-0.
Yeah.
Educate us on what you saw and what are you expecting. All right, because I don't want to tell
It's
you what the Jamaicans them say about Canada. I
oh,
don't. I not even pay it any mind. Just leave it alone. Don't even watch the video. All right.
I don't even like. I think for me, you can look at this. This is truly a glass half full or glass half empty conversation with this game, because from the most optimistic standpoint, you can say, look, for chunks of this game, they were playing Argentina. They weren't being played off the pitch. They were creating opportunities. They had chances. Defensively, they let a lot too much go. Max Crepo stood on his head. Truly, the man is fearless, and we appreciate that. So from the optimistic standpoint, they played well. Some people had them losing this game, what, 6-5 to nothing. I came in thinking, just give me a goal, I'll be happy. But they created chances. At times, they defended well. At other times, you question that. Um, and I think that's the positives. If you want to look at it in the same aspect from a negative, there's no one really in form. That would be the names that you would usually rely on aren't in form. And you can look at that one of two ways, right? I think every big name for Canada had one major chance that they just scuffed, right? Jonathan David has a empty header. It's there, puts it wide. Alfonso Davies gets a rebound, puts it wide. Stephen Eustachio gets a shot off across straight to the keeper. Kyle Laren has multiple chances where he can't get at the end of it. So you either can look at that and say, look, we are creating chances against top teams, therefore we should be able to create chances against all teams. That's the optimistic standpoint. The concern is Jesse Marsh has been in charge for 3 games. He hasn't scored a goal. The team hasn't scored a goal. There's so many. I've made the inference to this is Belgium 2.0. And when I say Belgium 2.0,
Oh,
I mean it's a game where they look good. They're up and down. They have a couple of defensive mistakes. They lose the game, but you leave the game thinking, no, this team is legit. And the problem with Belgium with the Belgium game is that they still lost the game, right? And again, I have said from day one, I'm not going to judge this team too much until I see about 6-7 games with Marsh. So I'm not really going hard on them. I will say that I don't think that players that they're relying on are in form. But the thought that I had after the France game was, oh, this is their Belgium game, except they don't concede. And then in the Argentina game, I said, this is Belgium 2.0, except they concede. So I think for Canada, it's one of those things where you've done everything but finish, right? You've created good runs, you've had good chances, you've done so many things, but ultimately you don't finish. So at some point you need to score a goal. I think for their psyche, they need to score the goal just so that they know, hey, we can put it away. Because I think the one thing that this team has been when they are working on all cylinders, they can score on bunches if they want to. But I think there's positives and negatives. I think one negative I'm realizing with this system, with Marsh's 4-2-2-2 or his 4-4-2, the midfield is a construct. Sometimes it gets passed through, and it's asking your midfielders to do so much. I am already thinking they need to go 3 in the midfield and dropping a 9. There are other things I've mentioned. If I've put videos out, I put posts out on Twitter/X. I don't know if some of the players fit the system, and specifically, I'm looking at Kyle Larin. Kyle Larin is a player who you give him maybe 3, 4 chances. He finally gets one on the frame. And when you're playing top teams like you have against, say, France, against the Netherlands, against Argentina, you're not going to get 3 to 4 chances. And I think that's something that they have to learn and kind of work with. So I think you can look at this game from both a optimistic standpoint. You can also look at it from a very pessimistic standpoint. I'm trying to keep it neutral, and I
Mm-hmm.
want to see more players get involved to kind of see what it looks like. Just because I'm only guaranteed 3 games here. I'm not trying to speak as if I expect them not to make it out of the group. I don't know. I need to see them against their next game because you had a good game, you created chances, you just didn't finish against Argentina. You also gave I don't know if they were trying to unlock the Messi breakaway challenge achievements in FIFA, but it seems like that's what they were trying to do. And Maxim Crepo got his new thing. So I think it's their positive signs, but this is also a squad under their coach in their 3rd game. So I want to see a little bit more from them. There are things that concern me. There are things I'm encouraged about, but I'm in a very much wait and see standpoint. I think if you look at the bevy of chances, Argentina should have won this game by a lot. Max
Yes, yes,
Crepo
yes, yes.
is, I think,
But
proved that yeah,
at the same time, you got to say that this is still one of the better performances coming from a CONCACAF team against Argentina, because I've seen a lot of them play Argentina, and the cricket scores and also the no opportunity at
yeah,
all. Like the offline was also a goal. And it's the first time I truly saw a CONCACAF team made it look like the offline is not actually a goal and they should have scored.
yeah,
But you touched the right point, because I used it today to say it's Belgium 2.0. But why I'm impressed is how fast this man gets this Belgium 2.0. Erdman had the team a long time before he could have put up a performance like this in. You get me?
mhm,
Against Belgium.
yeah,
And I think that this man achieved it already. Obviously, it looks like Canada is on steroids at this point. And I'm impressed. I'm really impressed with it. Because sometimes you're winning, but you just never win on the score sheet. And I said,
mm,
people mark this moment, because once he can put up any performances he puts in like this against a CONCACAF team, he beats any one of them, including USA and Mexico as well. So at the
yeah.
same time, I know the fans will beat it and say, "Oh, it doesn't work because it never worked on Argentina." But Argentina won the entire World Cup.
Mhm. And I think it's a fair point to make. Like, again, that's why I'm not saying the coach is outmatched or I'm saying the system is flawed. I'm noticing things with the system. And again, I think the Belgium 2.0, you can take it from a positive or a negative, right? The Belgium 2.0 is, hey, they perform well against a top team. The problem with the Belgium 2.0 aspect is it's a great performance. It's still a loss, right? Belgium 2.0, it's you miss the penalty, you miss a couple other chances, but it's one bad defensive breakdown, and then it's 1-0 for them. Croatia, like I was talking with one of my friends, and I was like, I would take the Croatia game against Argentina, right? We score early, we look good for 15 minutes, and then we get run off the pitch for the next 70. I'll take that. But
Okay.
but again, when you're looking at the side, even like the game against Morocco was just 2 decisions that were questionable, and then they started to work into the game, and then it was more of a pragmatic game with both sides. I think Canada is showing that they can. Like, if you want to look at them in terms of, hey, we want to progress to get ready for the World Cup, which I don't want to use as a reasoning, even though that's the reality, because right now you're in a tournament. So focus on the tournament. Don't tell me the big picture about next time and in 2 years you're going to be great. No, talk to me about this tournament. We've seen this side from Herdman to Marsh. They have not looked. They have not looked like they are drowning against top teams, which is great. Now, at some point against these top teams, the top teams they've played, they have a total of, outside of CONCACAF, they have a total of 2 goals against these top sides that aren't in CONCACAF, right? Nothing against Belgium, 1 goal against Croatia. If you want to count Morocco as a top team, you can. Own goal against Morocco. Outside of that, nothing against the Dutch, nothing against France, nothing against Argentina. They are showing that they can play on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be if teams will come and play Canada, they know it's going to be a tough matchup, but they haven't been able to now say it's a team that'll make us work, but it's not a team that they haven't got the part where it's okay, no, but they'll punish us now, right? And I think that's what they need to do.
So,
I
but
don't,
but
yeah.
but my problem is, look at us. If we were in your position, that when we're playing top teams,
Mhm.
we are in the games, we are playing good football, but we have not crossed that line as yet. I think we would have been happy for that, because that would have meant that we're getting somewhere, But it's like, so for you, because it's not you alone talk like that as Canadians. Are you guys trying to force the team too fast? Are your expectation is too high? And this is just the first actual official game.
Okay, so that's a very good question because I have been one who sounds like you, who says
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we overestimate what our side is versus what it isn't, right? Just because my fallacy with the Belgian game has always been it feels as if we've used that game as the now that's the benchmark out of everything, right? So if you can lose to Belgium by one and basically outplay them on the pitch, there's no
Mm-hmm.
reason you should lose to Jamaica. Even there's no reason you should struggle against Trinidad and Tobago. There's no
That's
reason
it.
why
That
you
is
should
true. That's
lose.
true.
There's no reason you should lose to Honduras. It doesn't matter if it's raining. It doesn't matter if it's snowing sideways. You should not struggle against those sides. And my response is you can have that mentality, but all those environments are very different. And
Facts.
every
Facts.
team, and you aren't the Canada that snuck up on people, right? You aren't the Canada that was like, oh, look at them. They just made it into the octagon and now, oh, they're winning things. No, there is scouting on everyone now. Everyone knows what their strengths are, everyone knows what their weaknesses are. So you now have to show that, which is why I said after World Cup qualifiers, Canada is tentatively sitting in that third place seat in CONCACAF. They need to now show that they belong there and they can sit there comfortably. Have they been able to do it? It's been a mixed bag. They have
Mm-hmm.
great performances, and then they have moments where they let off. Again, you give them there's a 15-minute let off, and then the game is turned. Or there's a moment where they're getting caught on the high line very often. I messaged you this. I did
Yeah,
message you
yeah.
this.
I saw the
They're
message. Man. I saw the message.
they're
Yeah.
be- they're becoming the recovery speed merchants, and I hate it. And it's just like just because you're fast, take the proper angles. Be aware of your surroundings, people. Just because you have fast players doesn't mean you can get away with things. Play fundamentally sound that way. So I think there is a thought process with Canadian fans where it says the bar has been raised. I think there's nothing wrong with that. The bar has been raised, but if the bar has been raised, so do the performances. If we as fans raise the bar, but then the team hasn't yet, should we be upset? If but and this is why and this is where I say look at the performances they had against top teams. They are encouraging, but
Yes.
until they are very encouraging, don't get me wrong. But for myself, I look at it and I think if we are having good performances against them, but there's nothing that we can show. We can say we played toe to toe with France, draw. We can say we had a good half against Netherlands, lost in the second half. We had a good game against Argentina, except if you ignore. And that's why I like whenever the Argentina game it comes up, it's a very interesting conversation for me.
And
Is it
and
that
that's
we, yeah, go on, go on.
and that's why I thought that they should have had all the teams in the World Cup qualifiers, because that would have changed the perception of the fan base, because now you'd have gotten teams that you're either above or on
Mm,
par with. So let we see how we can exercise our rights with this setup. So I think the games are just coming at the wrong time. So the coach, and sometimes coaches can get bashing because the games then come at the wrong time. Because I
mhm.
truly believe that if you play anyone in the CONCACAF aside from United States and Mexico, with that style, you actually beat them and actually create 20 chances.
I think
Like
they can. I think this
20
style
chances a game.
I think this style suits them. Now, the thing that I need to see happen, and again, it's very simple. They need to start scoring, right?
But they're
They
gonna score. Jesus, Africans,
look,
it's
look,
hard to score the
JD,
big
JD.
teams.
I understand that. I understand that, JD. I do. Goal. It's not like I can just say, okay, Jonathan
Oh
David, give me
man.
12. It doesn't work that way, JD. I understand. It's tough to score goals in any game, let alone in any region. But you how many, and I saw the sentiment with Sun fans, which is like how many we had a good performance, but there's nothing to show for, right? And that's why I'm
All
saying
right.
score a goal. And that's why for me I say score a goal, because even if they had lost that game 2-1, but the the free header from David goes in, the Eustachio shot square goes in, the rebound on that Davies goes in. You can now look and say, look, we had a good performance. We were in this game. Maybe our hearts broke at the last, but it's not just we can play on the pitch. We can now play and score. And I think that's the thing that is not to say that it's missing. That to me is my next step for them. My next step for them is now all these chances, start converting them. Right? I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying go beat Argentina now because you only lost to them 2-0. I avoid to say again, Maxime Crepeau versus Messi on breakaways challenge. It was not fun. It was stressful. But that to me, that's why I say that's my next step for this side. Let me see this side now play the same way. They're playing a team. It's lesser than Argent, the best team in the world, but it's still a formidable foe. Can you create those opportunities, and now can you punish them? Even if they win, even if they draw this game 2-2, but they're showing, okay, you see now you're starting to see the vision more of it. You need to see that. Now, is that possible? And that's where I go back to the other point. I don't know if the players that we're relying on are in the best form right now, right? We're relying on Tejon Buchanan. He's not in the best form. That's not his fault, but that's reality. He's not in the best form, right? Jonathan David hasn't scored for Canada since 2022. It feels like no, he's had other opportunities, but Jonathan David is there. Kyle Larin is a streaky striker. He'll either
Mm-hmm.
score in bunches or he'll have 9 chances and he might get one on frame, and maybe that goes in. And then outside of that, Eustachio, who was the engine of this team, not in form because lost his role at Porto, not in form, trying to find those opportunities. There isn't much opportunities. I'd like to see them try to tinker a little bit here, just because I want to see if maybe it's putting other players in those spots that gives them the opportunity to score and gives them the opportunity to give something different, right? There's talk for like, hey, should Schaffelberg, for example, for Canada start every time he comes in? I'm not against him starting, but his role, I might say, and I said it in my video, I might say bring him in earlier instead of waiting till the 60th. If you can have a solid half like you have where it's 0-0, and then just say, hey, either Tejon, we're taking you off, or Liam Miller, we're taking you off. We're going to put Jacob Schaffelberg on. He'll give you a little burst of energy, and maybe that gets you going instead of having you drag a little bit later. I want to see them just make the decisions a little bit faster and just change. You have the opportunity here to do it against top opposition. You might like this is a free opportunity. This is as close to a friendly as you'll get. Experiments. Yes, try to win the game, but put those players in those situations, see how they react, and now that gives you an evaluation piece for okay, against a team of this caliber, this is how you played, but against a team of this caliber, this is how you played.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's sit down and let's see. There's a lot in transition with this, and that's why again I said from the beginning, I'm not necessarily evaluating this team right now. I'm evaluating it, but I'm waiting for like 6, 7. I won't have a real opinion on this team until probably Nations League's quarterfinals. Because by
Yeah,
then
definitely.
that's 5 games, that's 6 games. Because they're playing Mexico. There's rumors they're supposed to be playing the US in that September window, and then October, November, that's when the quarterfinals happens. So by the
Well,
time
that's really
Nations League
nice.
starts, that's when I'll say this is the issue with this team, or this is what this team can do well, and I will tell it and I'll say it firmly. But right now, we're 3 games in. We've seen some encouraging performances. Again, like you said, the fact
They're
that March
playing
has
big
got
teams.
his
They're all big,
2.0.
big teams. It's not no. We just saw
Exactly.
Netherlands. Netherlands playing France, and France is trying to hold on, for a draw. All right, so so that's the level of team. So we have to just be realistic. I think that once they're gonna
Yeah.
be fine. But I want to ask you this because we're running out of time. Surprising. I started a little bit early. But we might can run it back maybe tomorrow if on your show or maybe over here as well. Because I might have a little slot before the Jamaica game, so we can
Mhm.
do that as well. What you expect to happen for the rest of the group? Because I am convinced that this scheme can still go through. You know. But some of my other colleagues, they don't agree that, yeah, I would put it like that.
Look, let's talk about Belgium 2.0. After the Belgium game, we said, could they escape? Ultimately, the Belgium game, even if they get a draw to that game, they're still
Mm-hmm.
alive. Even if they lose to
Mm-hmm.
Croatia the way that they do, they're still alive.
Yeah.
They lost to Argentina. So there's a thought that I've seen with some Canadian fans, which is, okay, you didn't go toe to toe, but you held your own against the number one team in the world. You must go into the next game, expecting to win. And what I'll caution them is they need to do a better job at managing the game, because I think that's where they ran out. Now, again, they weren't. Eustaquio was injured in the World Cup, and there were other things where they tried to play at a pace, and then Croatia's a top side where they said, "Oh, we're gonna play like this. Okay, this is how we're gonna play. We're gonna go up and down. Okay, cool. Send all the itches. We'll be good." And that's what they did. So I think this next game, if I'm going to be evaluating the game, can they manage it well? Is going to be the thing, because I think a draw is what I'm hoping for in this game. That's not my bare minimum, but I'm hoping for a draw. And again, this is me being my critical self, where I say they haven't scored a goal. Until if they had scored a goal, I'd say they scored against Argentina. They have a chance to score against their
They
next
will get
team,
the goal.
but they
They
need to
will
be
get
able
the
to
goal that they're
manage.
looking for. They're gonna get it.
I
They're
don't
gonna
doubt
get
it.
it.
I don't doubt it, but they need to be able to manage the 90 here. And I think that's where, how do you want to play that? Can they get a goal early, but then instead of trying to play up and down and bunkering back or bunker with a high line, are they able now to still press, still give up the ball, but make it uncomfortable for the opposition, right? Can they do that for Peru? If they can score early against Peru, and then it's a conversation of, okay, we'll give you it, but we're going to funnel everything here, right? You want to try to go out wide? We have the pace to nullify that. You want to go down the middle? We have the midfielders who will make things muddied and annoying. And if you want to go back, you have Jonathan David, who's running after everything because he doesn't stop. If you can manage the game well, pick your spots. And I think that's what he did well in the France game.
Mm-hmm.
He survived the first 20 minutes, and then you could almost see that they were picking their spots, where to press, where to sit back, where to go, where to have a deep press, where to have a mid block and go. If they can manage the game, and that's going to be a thing, it may not work. They may have the strategy, but then you have the double doink bounce goal that bounces off three defenders, the keeper's going the opposite direction, and then your one goal lead is now a draw. That's fine. But if they can show that they can try to manage the game, that's the next step. Do I think they can get out of this group? Yes, I think they can. Will they? They got to show it on the pitch. Did I pick
Yeah.
them to get out of the group? I didn't. I didn't pick them to get out because for me, I was, again, straight evaluation mode. I wanted to see what they look like against these teams. We saw Argentina. We got some positive signs. We also got some things they need to clean up, especially I don't want to see defenders chasing arguably the greatest player of all time ever again. I don't want to see the Messi breakaway challenge ever again. That's just my personal preference. But I think they can get it done. I think it's possible for them to get out of this group. Do I think they will? Now they have to do it. They've had another performance. They need to be able to manage this next game. And if they can do that, I think they leave with 3 points.
All right.
But this is
So
not, as I say this, I know there's going to be a Peruvian who's going to come and say, don't underestimate them. I am not. Peru is a
that,
good side. They are
that's
more than a good side.
that's why I'm saying. If it comes down to Chile draws with Peru, that would be good. Because
Mm-hmm.
that would keep the balance in between the three teams to actually qualify, right there. So obviously Argentina would be the runaway winners, but everyone else would
Yeah.
be that in that same ilk. Just like when Belgium lost the other day, you realize that because Ukraine defeated Slovakia or whatever I think it's Slovakia, yeah.
Slovenia. Yeah.
Slovenia.
Yeah.
Which one of them? No, the group sets back. If Belgium go and win, they are actually at the top now, even with
Mm-hmm.
losing the first game because of the results them went. So if a draw can happen, I think Canada definitely firm back in their own position, you know. But until
Agreed.
then,
I do
yeah.
agree with that. Yeah.
Marlon said, Africans, I can see Argentina complaining about the field. I am hearing that they spray paint the grass. Okay, spray
I
paint the
don't look. I
grass.
did. I the they rolled out grass over the pitch,
Mm-hmm.
and I if this is what I'll say. If this is their solution, they better have a better solution here, because there's grass I don't like. There's the astroturf, not the astroturf, but like the synthetic grass, which nobody really likes, but is there. But if you're actually going to host a World Cup, don't show up with rolled up grass that you throw over turf and you put it there. Do it properly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Learn from the mistakes here and do it properly. Because I looked at the pitch. I looked at the pitch. I was like, this is not it. This is not it. And we saw this even in the Gold Cup 2021, because that's what they did in Las Vegas. It was just Las Vegas is grass as it is, so you don't have to worry about that. But it felt as if they'd rolled over. That happened when some like the American football teams go over and play in European stadiums. When they play at Tottenham, they just roll up some turf over the grass, and it's just like, but you have the grass. I know you don't want to tear up your grass, but all I'll say to CONCACAF is learn from this and find a better solution for it, because just rolling it over doesn't solve all the issues in terms of that. So I think you have to learn from this and be better, because I don't think the surface did not look good from on a television standpoint. So I think that's a concern for me.
Okay, all right. So people, we just answer this one and then we are out of here. But definitely tomorrow, if
Okay.
we are going to try find a way out to get Africans back a regular, because we have two competitions and we have to do some content, you know. But Africans is very busy.
Mhm.
You know, he has 685 million things doing, so it's hard to get him.
I do.
You
And one, 85 million and one, JD. And one.
worst when results doesn't go his way. It's hard to see him. I don't know where Claudine is.
So I can't celebrate my kin. I can't celebrate my family.
No, I
I
we're Africans. I am
I
just
can't
saying the
celebrate my
people,
family.
they will just find something to tell you that you are just making up stories. Even when I know I kind of believe you, you know, I kind of believe you.
Kind of.
Because
I
the
left my phone
Africans,
upstairs. I'll bring my phone.
the problem is all of these things always take place when your team
I
lose. That, I
JD,
don't know
you know,
why.
I'd like to address that and say I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why it is I find things to do. I really can't. I don't plan it. They just happen. JD, I've even told you in advance. I'll say, hey, JD, hey, this
I
game is
don't
happening
know
on a
this.
Thursday. Friday, I'm traveling to this place. I hope they win, but I'm traveling
I
to
heard
the next
you, I
states.
heard you.
And people are
But I
like, oh, so
can't.
he thinks he's going to lose. So he thinks they're going to
You
lose.
know
That's
what
why
I'm
he's
gonna do?
traveling.
You know what I'm gonna do before a team plays all the time. Anything you tell me before, and I'm doing a stream, I'm gonna make sure I advertise it. This is what will happen for Africans. So whenever you lose the game, it does yes, it doesn't seem like
I will.
you're skipping out.
JD, I will post my itinerary. I will post my itinerary on all the platforms so people know. Hey, Tuesdays I'm busy.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
Canada
but
plays on a Monday, I was busy anyways. If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. What would you have
yeah.
me do?
And your boys them picked up a lot of points before we even run, because I remember we're gonna do the African video completely different, because Ghana are
Mm,
doing well and we always beat up Ghana, and I told you that they're gonna surprise us, and they did surprise the hell out of everyone. So we want to do a video where we break down all of these teams, FIFA rankings, and also performances, and who got the like a top 10
mm.
ranking for the African one. So maybe if you're free tomorrow, not maybe tomorrow. Oh, we can work with this.
I will not be. I am
You're not going to be free
traveling. I
tomorrow.
got some. No,
Okay,
but
not
I will be
tomorrow.
here on Sunday. I
All
am
right. So
letting you know I will be here
Sun
on Sunday.
and Sunday. What are
Okay?
you trying to imply right there?
Win or
Speak.
lose, hey, we lost 2 days. I will be here on Sunday. So if we
Okay.
must
All
discuss
right.
Africa, we'll discuss Africa. If we must discuss the
Oh no,
Copa, we'll
no,
discuss Copa.
we're not going to. If you're here, we're gonna go back to Concacaf, because your team not gonna play, and then we skip to Africa. It's not going to happen. It's gonna stay on Concacaf. Then we skip over to Africa if we have time, or put it to our
Oh, if
next
we have
day.
time.
Yeah, yes,
Okay,
yes,
well,
because we
so
don't
then
have any
I'll
time for
just be
that.
cans. I'll just be cans. No Afri, just straight
No,
cans.
no, we're gonna have a lot of games in Concacaf, so we have to stay on those games for that stream. You're always trying to find. That's why Africans have to be careful of the words that they use, because people will continue to believe that you're
No,
hiding.
no,
All
no, no.
right.
I know, and I know.
All right. So
Oh gosh.
Africans, as you
It'll
said,
be good.
Africans will be busy, at least tomorrow. So we're gonna get this channel up and running. We're gonna have a lot of content,
Mm.
short and long. We're gonna have a lot of people here as well. Sean never get to come turn today, so I guess I'm gonna make like a stream and try and get him to come, and we talk about Suriname as well, so you guys can get that. We have talked about Jamaica in this one. We have talked about Nigeria as well, losing their coach. Sorry, Africans never got a chance to reach that part as well, but we can revisit it as well in the African video to see how they can look at it, because I gave my take on it. So Africans, give it a final point, and then we can run on. Mike Larry, big up yourself, massive respect. Thanks for being here, big boss.
Yes. No, I think Copa is going to be good. I think Copa is going to be a nice measuring stick to see where Concacaf is in terms of the Common Bowl teams. And yes, you have your big ones. We saw some lopsided games and friendlies before, but like this Mexico Jamaica game, I'm very curious about it because I can't say you can't really judge Jamaica based off what they did in World Cup qualifiers because it's a different squad. You can have questions about the coach. I think that is more than fair.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I
We
think
have.
now, but we do. But you have a version of Mexico, and the problem with Mexico has just been as bad as they look. It seems the only team that really causes them trouble is Honduras,
Mexico.
and the
Yeah,
rest who
Unisys.
aren't in the payroll. Yes. And yes, and the rest who aren't in the payroll who say, what, 5 minutes of additional time? Did you mean 17? Okay. Edson, hurry up and score. Hurry up and score. So okay, in. Okay, call it. Penalties now. So other than that, they've not looked their best. And I think I don't want to. It's going to be tough to jump to any conclusion, but I really will want to. If Jamaica beats Mexico, I'll want to bury Mexico. If Mexico beats Jamaica, I will say like this was it'll be the same conversation I have with like the women's US team, where I've said for the last 2 years, this is the window to beat them. Emma Hayes is here
Mm-hmm.
now. I don't know if you have that window anymore, but I think after the Olympics, the US is going to start doing the thing where on the women's side where they just look to dominate and run through everyone. So I think this is a great opportunity for Jamaica if they can get everything on the right page. But I don't know if it really does come down to what Mexico does to them. I think if Mexico is clever and cheeky, they'll just say, no, we'll sit back and defend. You guys try to break us down. And then they try to do that because I think that there's more fear in that than say them having the ball, them having a bad pass, and then next thing you know, you have pace coming at you on the wings. So I think if Mexico is cheeky, go. But again, there's going to be a lot of statements that are going to be made. If Jamaica beats Mexico, all the Americans are coming and saying El Tree is dead. And
Yes, that is true.
if Jamaica,
And Jamaican videos will not be stopping. It will be
no,
75 hours in the 24 hours a day. So you will see
Gee, there'll be
triple
so many music
game.
videos. We won't know what. So many music videos. We won't know what to do.
Music videos, football videos, comedy, everything. So I know, and the Americans will be on it. The
Mm,
Mexicans themselves will be on it. So it will be
mm.
oh my God, I can't imagine what will take place if that happens. Jesus God, oh Lord, oh Lord, it's gonna be all sorts of excitement, people. Richard says they can't see Jamaica beating Mexico. Most I hope for is a draw. Richard going for right here. So guys, as we said, we're gonna re up to you guys that this is my second stream. I still have something to chop up. Thanks Africans for coming on. You need to schedule a show. It's been a long time you haven't done any show. Yes, but
Mm.
I'm waiting on the show. Don't pick the day after Canada play. Yes. Yeah, I'm waiting, but yeah, I will wait and see. Yes, so people, Africans
No,
came
see,
on
see.
and And we have come to the end. We have chopped up a good amount of things. So subscribe over here. I posted Africans channel here. Just go straight over here and drop a like and it support it, because tell you what, at least you want the fans them to be more educated. So at least you can be more make more informed decisions. That's all, you know. Like if you want to bet on a game, at least you can know more about the teams and before you jump and bet on those games. All right. So take care, people. Please do subscribe to the Africans link, and we are going to be here more regular. So subscribe over here as well. Peace out.
Indeed.